Let me ask you something. Whose life are you actually living? Yours? Or the one your parents expect? The one society approves of? The one that looks good on social media? Because if you're being honest, there's a good chance most of your decisions, what you do, how you act, what you chase, aren't really about you. They're about them, and that's a problem. Because if you keep living for other people, you'll wake up one day in a life that looks perfect on the outside but feels empty on the inside. So let's talk about why it's time to stop living for others and start living for you, the approval trap. Here's the thing. Most people spend their entire lives chasing approval. They want to be liked. They want to be admired. They want people to look at them and say, wow, they've got it all together. But let's get real. That validation, it's temporary, it's shallow, it's meaningless. You can do everything right, get the degree, land the job, buy the house, marry the right person, but if you're doing it just to impress people, you'll never feel fulfilled. Because deep down, you'll always wonder, what if I had done what I actually wanted? You're not here to play a role. Since you were a kid, people have been telling you who to be. Be responsible. Be successful. Be realistic. Translation, be what we expect you to be. And at some point, you started listening. You started shaping yourself into whatever version of you made other people comfortable. But here's what you forgot. This is your life. Not your parents', not your friends', not society's, yours. And if you don't take control of it, someone else will. The cost of pleasing everyone. Here's the ugly truth. The more you try to make everyone happy, the more miserable you become. Because no matter what you do, someone will always disapprove. Someone will always think you should have done things differently. And if you keep bending, keep adjusting, keep sacrificing what you want just to keep people happy, you'll break. You'll lose yourself. And for what? A little bit of temporary acceptance? That's not worth your happiness. That's not worth your life. The illusion of judgment. You know what's funny? Most of the people you're so worried about impressing, they're too busy worrying about themselves to care about you. Seriously. You think they're analyzing your every move, but they're not. They're caught up in their own insecurities, their own doubts, their own fears. And the ones who are judging you, their opinions say more about them than they do about you. So why are you living for people who wouldn't even notice if you stopped? What do you actually want? If I asked you right now, what do you actually want in life? Could you answer? Not what your parents want, not what your friends expect, not what sounds impressive, what you want. Most people can't answer that because they've spent so long living for others that they've never actually asked themselves what makes them happy. So let me ask you again, what do you want? Because until you figure that out, you'll keep chasing things that don't fulfill you. You'll keep following paths that lead nowhere. And you'll keep wondering why you never feel satisfied. The price of living for yourself. Now let's be real. Choosing yourself isn't easy. People will push back. Some will guilt trip you. Some will call you selfish. Some might even walk away. And that's fine. Because the people who only like you when you fit their expectations, they never really liked you. They liked the version of you that made them comfortable. So let them go. Because at the end of the day, you have two choices. 1, live for them and resent yourself. 2, live for yourself and risk disappointing them. Only one of those choices leads to happiness. How to start living for yourself. So how do you actually do it? How do you break free from years of people-pleasing and start living for you? Here's where to start. Get clear on what you want. Spend time figuring out what actually makes you happy. Not what sounds good, not what looks good, what feels good. Learn to say no. Stop agreeing to things that drain you just because you're scared to upset someone. If it's not a hell yes, it's a no. Detach from validation. You don't need everyone to approve of your choices. You don't need a round of applause. Make peace with disappointing people. Take small steps. You don't have to blow up your life overnight. Start by making little choices that align with your values. Over time, those small choices become a lifestyle. And most importantly, stop apologizing for being yourself. The hardest question. Let me leave you with this. If you keep living for other people, what happens when they're gone? What happens when the people you spent your whole life trying to impress move on, change, or stop caring? What will you be left with? Because if the answer is regret, then you already know what you need to do. Final thoughts. You get one life, one chance to do what makes you happy. One shot at creating a life that feels good to you. So why are you wasting it trying to fit into someone else's version of success? Stop waiting for permission. Stop living for their approval. Start living for you. Because in the end, the only person who has to live with your choices is you.